We all need a little levity in our lives. Oh, how do you take the funny guy role and make him integral into the story? Today, we're going to see how a sarcastic strategist transforms into a wise leader. Welcome, Scribes of the Extraordinary. Today, we're going beyond entertainment and diving deeper into the craft of storytelling by talking about an amazing character from one of my favorite shows. Yes, we're going to continue going through Avatar: The Last Airbender characters, and there will be more videos to follow on this show analyzing these incredible characters. And today, we're going to be talking about Sokka. Now, Sokka fills the role of the funny guy in the show. But what's really interesting about Sokka is, unlike many shows where the funny guy tends to just kind of be the funny guy, maybe he gets off, one or cool like takedowns or whatever. Sokka is so much more than just the humor in the show. And we actually see this later in the series, where not only are the characters bored when Sokka's off doing his own thing, not only do they miss him, but they don't know what to even do. They're just kind of there laying around like, can someone tell a joke? Clearly not. No one here is clever enough to joke like Sokka does. What should we even do with our time? I don't know. The productivity of the team drops drastically when he goes away for 2 days, maybe 3. So Sokka clearly makes himself more important to the team than just the funny guy. But what's really great about his humor is fueled by wit. He's smart, he's intelligent, he's a strategist. So of course his wit comes out in the way that he speaks, but it also manifests in how he interacts with other people, how he plans out fights and altercations, how he can get out of very difficult and dangerous situations. Sokka is the only person on Team Avatar who doesn't use the world's magic. And typically when you have stories where people have magic, those who don't are either seen as lesser or, oh, yeah, we keep them around because we like them and they're funny. But Sokka takes this trope and completely flips it on his head. He turns into a proper leader by the end of the series, but that seed of leadership had always been there. If you go to the very beginning, Sokka was the only almost adult male in his tribe. All the men had gone off to war and gone off to fight, leaving home the women and the children. He and his sister were about 10 at the time when all the men left for war. So all of the other kids were infants. The age gap of Sokka and Katara is toddlers, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, to adults, parents. There's no one in between, and he has no man around to really guide him and help him figure all of this out. What's really cool about Sokka is his growth arc kind of mirrors Zuko. It is nowhere near as overt or drastic as Zuko's growth arc, but both of them are 16-year-old boys trying to figure out who they are. And both of them must come to the realization to accept humility in order to grow and to truly be who they're meant to be. Sokka's growth arc is a much more simple, much more subtle version of Zuko's, but they're both seeking external validation. And I think it's really cool to have this shown in a show designed for kids, to show that, even if you may not have the direct help to figure out things, because when you're a teenager, there's a lot going on. You're in this weird in-between phase of you're a child, but you're an adult, but you're not adult enough to do the adult things, but you're too much of an adult to do the child things, and it's just this really weird phase of life. So having a character who is in this phase of life, but he's also being thrust into this responsibility of you are the man of the tribe now. There's no one else. But he's still a kid. It creates a lot of tension for him initially, but it also showcases this leadership aspect. He was actively training all the children in his village to stand up and fight when there was a threat. When Aang showed up, he was very hesitant and very protective of his sister, showcasing all of these qualities of what a good man should be. And as they continue exploring the world, as the story keeps going on, he only steps into this role more and more and more. And I think that's really beautiful. And I think that's something that I would love to see so much more in modern media, is seeing what it looks like for a boy to become a man, but to walk in those really healthy steps of being a leader and being a protector and being a provider. These are all beautiful and healthy things that I just want to see more of in modern media. And that's actually a big factor of the book series I'm currently writing, is showcasing what does this transformation from boyhood to manhood look like? And what does it look like to be a healthy man? To be a protector, to be a provider, but to also be a comforter, to take care of those around him. Sokka is just as much as Katara is kind of the mother figure of the group, Sokka is very much the father figure of the group, which is really cool because he doesn't really have an active father figure to look up to, but he kind of takes on that role on behalf of the rest of the team because everybody else, until Zuko shows up, everybody else is younger than him. So it's not, both of them aren't like overtly, we are the parents to these children, because there's only like a 2 to 4 year age gap between them. But there's this level of responsibility that Sokka takes with the team and leading them. And one of the biggest parts of Sokka's growth is realizing the importance of every single role of the people that he encounters. Everyone has a different role to play, and nothing should be demeaned, which very much highly contrasts with how he is at the beginning of the show. One of the very first lines in the show is Katara calling him sexist, because he's like, oh, leave it up to a girl to mess things up. So he starts off very much with women have this role in society, men do all of the fighting, all of the hunting, all the protecting, all the hard things. This is his worldview. This is what he believes. And that's because when he was young, maybe like 8 to 10 years old, all of the men left to fight the war. All of the women were left behind to take care of the kids, to take care of the household. So he has this very clear distinction of what a man's role and a woman's role should be. And that kind of crumbles a little bit once he gets to Kyoshi Island and is overwhelmed by a bunch of warriors that are all women. Not only are they women, but their design, their outfits, their uniform is very feminine. It's very beautiful. It looks like a dancer, which is really cool. And that's when he first realizes, oh, maybe what I grew up thinking, and I have to shoulder all of this responsibility on my own of protecting and supporting and caring for. Maybe I don't have to do this. Maybe other people can also carry this burden. Oh, okay, it's not such a thick cut line. We can both share the weight. And he realizes he can learn a lot from a warrior, whether they're a guy or a girl. So he ends up gaining even more humility by going to Suki, the leader of the Kyoshi warriors, and asking her to train him. And she does, if he follows their tradition. And he's like, absolutely. And then it jump cuts to him with the full face of makeup, wearing like this dress that has like all these armor pieces and stuff. And she's describing all of the important details and warrior-esque things about it. And it's a very funny scene, but it showcases his willingness to learn. And I think that's a really cool thing, is he has this very, very clear image of societal roles when he starts. But as he enters the world, his worldview shifts because he gains more knowledge, he gains more information. He sees different people living life in different ways. What's really cool about Sokka is he's so subtle, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about Sokka because I think his subtlety and his growth is so overshadowed by a lot more major growth. Zuko, who I already made a video about Zuko. Go check out the character arcs video if you want to hear more about Zuko's arc and how to make your arcs better by analyzing his. It's brilliant. But Sokka kind of goes under the radar because he, similarly to Toph's character arc, has this very kind of stoic character arc. After Kyoshi Island, he doesn't change drastically. Yes, he gets stronger. Yes, he learns swordsmanship in season 3. Yes, he becomes a more adept fighter as he goes on. But he himself doesn't really change. He remains the leader. He remains the protector. He remains the provider. Another really cool thing about Sokka is he, more and more as the story progresses, goes into this leadership role and keeps stepping into the leadership role, even though he's not the leader of the group. Aang's the avatar. Aang's the leader. He calls the final shots. But because of Sokka's strategicness, he's the one who often plans out their routes. He's the one that often plans out their day. He's the one that often goes, okay, you go over here, I'll go over here, and you could I'll distract them, you get them from behind or whatever. He's very, very good at absorbing information and coming to conclusions and figuring out the best case scenario. And I think that's why he's so quick to learn humility and learn new things. The Kyoshi Warriors is a great example of this. He is an observer, he's intelligent, he's smart, and he's willing to learn always. So when someone has a different worldview from him, he's willing to listen and he's willing to adapt his own worldview while maintaining all of these very important traits, all of these traits of a strong man. Sokka is a great role model for what a man should be and what it should look like for a teen to step into adulthood and take on these roles and these responsibilities. He's kind, he's compassionate, he helps other people. He takes care of his loved ones. He provides for them. He was willing to go work for money because they didn't have any money and couldn't buy anything. He was willing to do more dangerous things on behalf of other people so that his loved ones were cared for. He was a provider. He was a leader. He ends up leading an army at about halfway through season 3. His father ends up following him. His father, who was the leader of their tribe and the leader of his own unit, ends up following his son. He really steps into this leadership role. He's a great example of what a young man should look like and act like, and all the wonderful, beautiful traits that come with that. So Sokka is a great character. Yes, he's the funny guy, but his humor is a result of the depth of his character and his witty intelligence and his love for others. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe so that I can keep making this content for you all. And let me know in the comments below which characters you would like me to do next. I'm going to be working through the Avatar characters because they're so good. And honestly, I could probably go through many of the side characters of the show even and pull out a lot of good nuggets of storytelling brilliance for you guys to copy. Well, my scribes of the extraordinary, that's all I have for you today. I look forward to our next encounter as we continue our journey of going beyond entertainment, one step at a time.